Hello, and today, this is Brandt the Brent, and I decided from a very first video, it's gonna be a Yu-Gi-Oh channel, I thought I'd start with just a deck profile for personally my favorite deck. Vampire deck that uses some of the similar skills to zombies. So, first thing you wanna do, run 3 Goblin Zombies. It's a really nice card. If it deals combat damage to a player, send a card from their death to the grave, which really goes well with the strategy of vampires, because they revolve around sending a card from the death straight to the grave. And also, if it goes to the grave for any reason, you can throw out a zombie that's 1200 less defense, and that's really nice. Also, these are in no particular order. Actually, they are in alphabetical order now that I think about it. The next one is Mizuki. Practically a staple for zombies. He has high attack power for level 4 of 1700, and you can banish him from the grave to summon another zombie straight from your graveyard, which is also very nice, very useful. Here's Pyramid Total. He's kind of like your regular 1400 attack power search monster guy, but since he only works on vampires, he has to search for monsters with 2000 or less defense, and some of them in either position, as far as I know. Let me check. Yeah, in either position, which is really nice. So if you need to lay on the defense, you can do that. And so he is a very nice search card, and you can use him to pull out a lot of the different monsters you need. And here's where we start getting into the important thing. 3 Shadow Vampires. Yes, he requires a normal summon, but a normal summon isn't very hard to do with this deck, because you got a lot of level 4s that can usually survive the first turn, such as Goblin Zombie. And the thing about Goblin Zombie is the fact that his effect still works when he's tributed. So what Shadow Vampire does is he's a level 5 monster, and when he normal summon, not tribute summon, normal summon, you can special summon a dark vampire monster from your hand or deck except for Shadow Vampire. What really makes this nice is the fact that you can summon any of your dark vampires, not just things like Vampire Duke or Vampire Lord. Any vampire, generally Duke and Lord are most recommended though. And then only that monster he's summoning can attack that turn, and he can only be attacked by the dark monster. So basically, he's a nice card. Pulls out your vampires. You can swim with that vampire if you want to, or you can go straight for the XYZ and not attack. It works out pretty well, I think. It's a very useful monster. The next card is the card that we're gonna be summoning most with Vampire Duke. He has 2 effects. One, if you special summon, you declare a spell card, a monster card, or a trap card, your opponent has to send a card of whatever type you declare from their deck to the grave. Generally, it's recommended to send a spell or a trap because most decks now benefit from having a monster in the grave. But Vampire Duke already had that very nice effect of sending cards to the grave. What makes it even nicer is that if you manage to normal summon it, you can summon a vampire from your graveyard to the field. And so you could normal summon one in defense mode, I should mention. So you could, if you manage to, normal summon a Duke from your grave in defense mode. If you manage to do that, they send a card, overlay, you got the vampire's main XYZ, which I will cover here eventually. Next staple one is Vampire Sorcerer. He is extremely nice because he searches out your vampire support cards like Vampire Kingdom and Vampire Takeover, and you can banish him from the grave to normal summon a vampire without having to do any tribute, which helps things like Shadow Vampire, which is really nice. Next one, we only run 2 Vampire Lord because he's a nice card. He's got decent defense for a vampire, and he has 2000 attack and he's a level 5. You can summon him with Shadow Vampire if you want to. Duke is obviously a better way to go, but Vampire Lord has the nice effect that if he's destroyed by a card effect, or if he can summon himself back to your side of the field, and he also has the effect to deal bad damage to your opponent that you declare the card type they send it from their death to the grave, which is also just a nice thing to have happen. And then finally, 5 monsters, 1 vampire vamp. It's actually in there just because it can be a useful card at times. And it does help with field clearing. Like first summon, you can just hit the strongest monster, and you got a very big monster compared to all the littler ones. And it's a nice monster removal thing. and you can get a lot going with it. And so it's a nice card to run, but not essential to the deck strategy. Moving on to the spell cards, an important one is the Book of Life. This is basically a monster reborn for your vampire. It just has a condition that you have to banish a monster from your opponent's graveyard, which is really nice against most decks. The one problem with it is your opponent has to have a monster in the grave. That's the one difficulty that this card can run into. Your opponent requires a monster in the grave. Of course, by the time you need this card or you draw it, that's gonna happen because you're gonna be killing the monster with your vampires or whatever. So that works out just fine, and it's a nice card. Summon vampire from the grave, boom, and then let's say like normal summon. Let's say like the normal summon, special summon Vampire Duke, activate the effect, normal summon Shadow Vamp, tribute it, normal summon Shadow Vampire, use it to special summon another Vampire Duke, get the effect again. It works out very nicely. Foolish Burial, because it gets cards like your Sorcerer in the grave to make sure that you can get those normal summons out without needing tribute. 2 mythical face typhoons for standard spell trap removal, which is always nice. 1 by Geeky, because let's face it, it's a great elimination card. It just basically screws over your opponent's field. Really nice. 2 Solidarities. You're running only zombies, and vampires don't have the greatest attack power, only about 2,000, and so any kind of boost really helps. And this is an 800 attack boost, which is actually a pretty big boost, I have to admit. And so Solidarity really works out nice in that way, because you can use it to boost all your monsters, and you can have stuff in the grave pretty quickly. And so if you have Solidarity, all your monsters are going to get power boost, and it's really nice. With Vampire Kingdom, it's basically the field spell. Give all your zombies 500 extra attack points when in combat, which is really nice, because they have more attack points when they're attacking the monster or being attacked, but they don't have more attack points to your opponent activates a card that was like destroy a monster you control and deal damage to you. I think Fight for Real does that. And also Vampire Kingdom, if you send a card from your opponent's deck to the graveyard in any way, you can send a vampire from your hand or deck to the graveyard, like say Sorcerer, and you can destroy one card on the side of the field, so it makes it a great elimination card as well. 1 Bottomless Trap Hole. It's a decent card. Use it on someone. 2 Mirror Forces, because contrary to the fact it's at 3 and a lot of people apparently have counters against it, whenever it's played, people really aren't prepared for it, I've noticed. Which actually just makes it absolutely hilarious. Unless you're playing against the phone, then it's just, it's a pissing moment. Solemn Warning, because, again, staple card, pay 2,000 life points, and just shut down a single summon, which is really nice. Because, say your opponent builds up for a big combo for one monster, Solemn Warning, nope. It's nice. And finally, 3 Vampire Takeover. It's your Vampire Kingdom search card. I think it does something else. Yeah, and it summons a dark vampire monster from your deck, from your grave, and face up defense position. Like, say, I don't know, Vampire Duke or any other vampires, really. A sorcerer to pull out another vampire spell trap card, like your Kingdom or whatever. And so that's a really nice thing to have happen. And Vampire Takeover, what it does, you have a zombie face up on the field, and you can activate Vampire Takeover. It throws Vampire Kingdom straight from the deck into the field zone, and that's just, it works out very nicely. This is definitely a very useful card whenever I play it. Next, we are moving on to the extra deck, so let's just get this main deck out of the way. Now for the extra deck. Adrian, Keeper of Armageddon. Here's a good elimination card. He's an attack point. Yes, he's a fiend. Yes, he does. It shuts down Solidarity, but but the deck doesn't require Solidarity. Solidarity is just a very nice, useful card. So Adrian is a good elimination card if your opponent gets a way too strong monster. Next one. 3 Crimson Knight Vampire Brawl. He's the vampire's main XYZ, and what he does is you can detach material from him to summon a monster from your opponent's graveyard to your side of the field. He's like a Coil Guardian, but since they're already dead. So that's a very nice thing already. Also, if your opponent manages to get rid of him, well, he comes back to the field and defense mode in the next standby phase, so it's hard to keep him dead, and he's always there for defense. next, two ingredients that are there. I actually built the deck on a budget, and it was a nice, seemingly nice budget card I could use. That was a rank 5, and so that's made Screen of Images, but it had decent attack, and it's effectively good if you can get it to work out. Which, let's face it, usually won't happen, but if you get it to work, that's a pretty good elimination stuff. Two Freeze It On for Crimson 2, so that you can keep using any deck quality effect, but my thought was Brom's effects, just because you won't have materials to come back, and Freeze It On is a great way to support that. Orchestra is another handy monster elimination card. It also deals burn damage. That's actually another card that Vampire Kingdom gets around, because it won't deal up to 500 damage to you, which is very nice. Two Shark Fortress, because who doesn't want to make a second attack with the big monsters? That most of them, by the point you get this out, are going to have 2500 or more attack when you fight. And finally, a Tiered Keeper of Genesis. Adrius' opposite. It's a nice card. Hard to get rid of until after 2 turns, but you can keep attacking with it, and it eliminates cards, which is a really nice thing. Alright, so let me know your thoughts on this deck, and hopefully I'll have another video before too long, showing me using this deck, or showing combos. So, anyways, yeah, bye.